The New York Knicks have asked everybody, do you want to talk to us to be our head coach? And everybody has said, no, I do not like green eggs and ham. I don't like green eggs and ham in a car. I don't like the New York Knicks in a jar, in a bar, anything like that. That's an old school book. Is that too old for people to remember green eggs
I
and
hope
ham?
not. Nah, I definitely got that in the library for the kiddo over here.
No, I mean, has that book been banned? You know what I mean? Like that book could very well be banned at this point.
That's true. I still got it in the collection though, so it ain't banned over here.
Okay, good. All right, if you don't know what it is, then I don't know what to tell y'all. But yeah, nobody wants to talk to the New York Knicks. No team is willing to let the New York Knicks, Quinn Snyder, nah. Billy Donovan, nah. Like you said, insert name here. If you haven't been asked, it's like the balloon popping thing. Everybody done popped the balloon, right? Pop, 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 pop. That's what it looks like. If there's nobody left, they may have to go to Michael Malone, I think this is not a hot take here. I think they wind up, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if they wound up with Mike Brown as their head coach. I said it last time when we were talking to Sam Amick. I'm saying a little bit stronger here. I would not be surprised if Mike Brown would wind up being their head coach by the end of this. I would not be surprised if this thing took a couple more weeks to figure itself out. Maybe goes into Summer League and the draft. They still have your assistants on staff and everything else. I would not be surprised if Mike Brown was the head coach of the New York Knicks.
I don't mind the fit. I can't get a read of what they're really trying to look for, because I get the
anybody
idea of
let's take the job.
Let's go poke around and see who's willing to at least sniff out who's interested in this job. And I think it's an interesting move because, of course the franchises are going to be like, no, but I don't know. Maybe there actually is some interest in some of these jobs, and you got to say no, but maybe that's a way for Doc Rivers and the Boston Celtics. They got a first round pick for Doc
second.
Rivers.
They get some type of second out of it.
Second round pick. Okay. Either way, you got to pick for for a coach. So I don't know. Maybe there's some of that negotiating in the background, but unlikely. Even if it is, Mike Brown makes a lot of sense. I was actually hoping that it'd be Johnny Bryant, but I don't know. Maybe it's too early for him just being an assistant, although he has a lot of experience in the Knicks organization, seems to rock with Leon Rose really well. And I don't know, it seems pretty well received by players, young guys. Yes. You could build with them. But I do feel like it makes sense. I think he'll at least be on the staff if they hire a Mike Brown, which I also feel like a lot of coaches were done dirty this year. The Knicks job is a great way to refactor and reinvest in these veteran head coaches that honestly deserve jobs.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. And people are like, man, did the New York Knicks have a plan? Why would you fire Tom Thibodeau if you don't have a plan? No, the plan was to fire Tom Thibodeau. It wasn't about
the plan's working.
It wasn't about it wasn't about who you got next. If you got somebody waiting in the wings, no. The plan was to fire Thibs. That's it. What we gonna do next? We don't know. We gonna find somebody else to take the job. Maybe Jason Kidd wants it. I don't think there was ever a realistic chance of Jason Kidd leaving Dallas unless Jason Kidd knew. I'm put it like this. This is what I'm saying. I am of the belief that Giannis putting out these feelers that, hey, I might want to stay in Milwaukee, and Jason Kidd saying, I don't want to interview for that job. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's not. But I think that job is a lot more attractive if you feel like there is someone big coming there, because the roster to me does not look like an NBA Finals roster. When you have poor defenders at the point of attack and at the rim, and your best rim protector is injury prone, that is not a recipe to sort of look for playoff success in the future. To me, I cannot project playoff success in the future with those three elements. God bless Jalen Brunson as an offensive player and everything else. He's a fabulous player, but you still need to defend in this NBA, especially at the point of attack, and you cannot hide them. I don't know if there's a coach that's going to look at this roster and say, you know what, without significant changes to something here, even in a gap year, even though the Celtics aren't going to be relevant next year, even though the Bucks probably aren't going to be championship relevant next year, I don't see a coach saying, you know what, they're a me away from getting to the NBA Finals, because they probably look at Tom Thibodeau like, man, he did a really good job with 6 dudes. Where they gonna find 7 and 8 at? So no, I don't think the Knicks had a plan, Dan, to go and get a Jason Kidd or go maybe get a Michael Malone or whatever it was, or any other coach. I think the plan was to fire Tom Thibodeau, and not even an Eastern Conference Finals appearance was going to save his job. They fired him not because he lost. They fired him because they wanted to, and that's why we are here today.
Yeah, and I don't think that most, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't know how much meddling is done. Usually some, but like, to your point, it was all about you bringing in Dolan, and he's coming out. Like, the one thing that the Knicks have done well is keeping Dolan away from the team. The fact that he came back just to do this, that was the goal and the agenda. It was completed. All right, now let's go figure out everything else. Dolan, go away. We'll let the basketball minds, Leon Rose and World Wide West, figure out what's next. But it's not like they don't have any shortage of options here. So, like, even if they're trying to, pry people away or convince people to come out of retirement, they're just doing their due diligence. Now they kind of see where the road and the roadmap is, who's available. All right, now let's see who's going to coach the rest of this team. I think Mike Brown would be a good fit. I think Mike Malone would be a good fit. I personally would rather, I think we need more of these coaches on the broadcast, because I just think hearing from their perspective, I think Mike Malone's just great on the mic. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a dark horse candidate out there that we don't know about too. When do you think it gets figured out, though? Do you think it'll be figured out by Summer League?
That's when a couple people told me that a few days ago, that this thing is not going to go the way that you think it is, that this could probably go into Summer League.